just a reminder, 10 years ago, this year, was the year of Luigi.
Ah, yes. We
Their
can't forget the
worst
year of Luigi.
year ever.
So maybe this is history repeating itself, and this will be the worst year of Nintendo. Hello, and welcome back to the Joystick Drift Podcast, episode 14. We are back in 2023. Me, your host, Nick Barrett, joined by Colin, who's pixelated for some reason, and Alex, who's also here. Colin left us with a thumbs up and then glitched out. Alex, is he glitched out for you too?
No.
Oh, well then maybe it's just me.
So he's still, good thing I'm recording then, because otherwise there'd be a lot more issues.
Joy, just be a goat. It's fine.
Could be bad, but it's fine. If it's
we have the goat to replace him.
Exactly.
It'll be fine. I just won't be able to see Colin the entire time. Oh, there we go. It fixed itself. Anyway, welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about our predictions, or kind of just what we expect from Nintendo in 2023. But we're also going to talk about some Tears of the Kingdom leaks towards the end, because there have been some leaks over our little break. Whether or not they're true, I don't entirely know. But we'll address it when we get there. But before we get into all of that, I want to ask my co-hosts how they're doing. But before I do that, because I forgot, Melina's not here today. Because prior to recording, she started to not feel well. So I told her to not go because she needs the rest. So she wanted to wish all of the viewers a happy new year, and that her New Year's resolution was to not die from being sick. So Melina, we love you, we miss you, and we will see you next episode, hopefully. Now, gentlemen, how was your Christmas/New Year's break? Who wants to go first? Somebody just start talking, because I need to stop talking.
So I think my Christmas was good, especially since I got a donut keychain.
Wow. You really going to be that guy?
No, but thank you, Nick, so much for the Rengoku Katana keychain.
Hey, thank you. You got me the same katana, but not as a keychain, and it's right there on my shelf with the rest of my Demon Slayer.
I gave you the better mini katana.
True.
Rengoku.
No cap.
But hey, Rengoku's awesome. His katana looks awesome. So this thing just stays on my desk.
That's fair.
But I got my PS5 finally, and I've been playing God of War. This actually came with a God of War Ragnarok, which I'm not going to start until I beat God of War 4. And I got Elden Ring, because why not? But that game's kicking my ass, and Colin's making fun of me for it.
Just get good.
Just get good. I mean, I never played it, but, just get good.
It's just
get
it's
good.
so difficult. Well, especially with some of the bosses. I can't tell which one's actually a main boss. And I ran out of arrows. And the game's just a pain. I find it surprising that people actually managed to beat it using the Dance Dance Revolution dance pad.
It's just because they're
Hey,
good.
listen. Sounds like you're having a skill issue, Alex.
You are.
I don't know what to tell you. Skill issue.
I'm not saying I'm not going to get better. Like, once I actually figure things out, I'll get better while avoiding walkthroughs and actually tips on how to actually get good at the game.
That's fair. That's valid. I respect that.
But other than that, I think I'm doing well. but I must say this is probably one of my favorite things because Demon Slayer. And
Yeah,
gets just hit.
that's
It gets
right.
just hit a lot better when it's from friends.
That's true. Well, Colin,
So
how
Colin,
about you?
how are you doing?
I'm doing good. For Christmas, I got a controversial game. I got a Pokemon Violet. Haven't
Hey,
played it
yo.
at all.
You haven't played it?
Nope. I've been too busy playing Yakuza 7. Because that game's really, really good. Also
Are you
got
going to
some.
wait until? Are you going to wait until they actually fix the bugs and glitches in Violet before you actually start playing?
No. I'm honestly probably gonna pick it up on the side like after Yakuza 7's done. But I also got some manga. I got 2 volumes of Spy Family and 1 volume of Kaiju number 8.
Nice.
But yeah,
and I
like
just remembered.
what did you remember, Alex?
I got like 7 volumes of Demon Slayer for Christmas, along with
Jeez.
volume 1 of Chainsaw Man.
Nice. That's pretty
Yeah.
epic. Not gonna lie.
I also got a mini fridge.
That is useful. I wish I had one.
I got the Xbox mini fridge. So that was
Wait a minute, they still sell those?
I'm looking at it
I walked
right
past
now,
it
so
in Target
yes.
the other day.
Yeah.
I thought they stopped selling them after the Series X was first released. After a while, for Series X was released.
No, I'm looking at it right now.
Well, that doesn't mean you can't go on eBay and find one.
I'm pretty sure my brother found it at Target. So,
Yeah, I walked past him at Target the other day. I saw him in
Um,
there.
but yeah.
Where's
No.
the PlayStation mini fridge?
But yeah. Christmas was good. New Year's was fun. But yeah, that's about it.
I mean, hey, that's it's pretty epic. You know what I'm saying? As long as
PlayStation
it was
release
good.
your mini fridge.
Yeah.
release a
hashtag
Wi-Fi router.
PlayStation. Give it.
PlayStation release a Wi-Fi.
I want my PS5 Wi-Fi router, please. Thank you.
No,
Okay, it
Nintendo.
does look like
Nintendo
one.
release a Wi-Fi router. Maybe they'll actually have good Wi-Fi services at that point.
I
Come on.
think making a good Wi-Fi is the least of Nintendo's problems, especially with a lot of the buggy games that come out on Switch.
Exactly. I think they got bigger issues.
Scarlet and Violet.
They got bigger fish to fry. Switch Pro. What?
Tears of
didn't
the
say
Kingdom. Wait, what?
I don't know.
So yeah.
I think people would like a better connection on the games they pay for and the connection
no.
they pay for compared to
I
another
think you're
console.
definitely right. I got Splatoon 3 for Christmas, and I was trying to play online the other day, and I got disconnected 4 times in a row.
Oh yeah, no, the
like,
servers are not great.
It didn't even load me in to
Mhm.
a game. Like I went to the lobby or whatever, and it was like, oh, 1 or more people is disconnected, which is really stupid that they cancel the entire game because one
Yeah.
person gets disconnected. Like, no, just keep going.
You know,
And try to fill that slot. That's what other games do.
You know what that
Sometimes
reminds
they
me
do,
of?
sometimes they don't. It's weird.
you know what that reminds me of?
Call of Duty.
In 2015, yes, I remember this very well. When Black Ops 3 was being released, me and my brother pre-ordered the game, and we were Xbox players. But now I'm now everything but Xbox. When it was finally Xbox players' turns to try out the beta for Black Ops 3, first of all, it was difficult to even get the beta. We had to literally look on YouTube how to get it. And the moment people started playing the beta, the game would just crash instantly. And
That
the beta was
sucks.
only for 3 days. 3 days, and we had this problem this whole time, and we could barely get through a whole game. We were lucky to even get 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Any person who's played Black Ops 3 probably knows the pain. And you had to be an Xbox player to understand the pain, because PlayStation PC favoritism, I swear.
Yeah. Well, I also got Mario plus Rabbids for Christmas, which I will play at some point. Probably not anytime soon. But I also got Sonic Frontiers, which I already had. So I returned it to GameStop, and I got Persona 5 Strikers, so I can play that when I finish Persona 5 Royal. And I got one of the Splatoon amiibo because I knew like I could use it in Splatoon. I also got what else like gaming related did I get? I don't know. I got a couple Books A Million gift cards, so I went and bought some manga too about Spy Family, Chainsaw Man, so I could pick those up where the anime left off. And that's really all of like note in terms of gaming stuff. I didn't get a whole lot because everything gaming I want is like Tears of the Kingdom stuff that we don't know if we're getting or not. But also like all the games I wanted, I already have / don't need any more games because I have enough to play. So
you want a figure of Link from Tears of the Kingdom. That is true.
Although I don't know where I'd put it because like my shelves are full. So I need to find more shelf space before I do that. Well, yeah, I'll find a way.
What amiibo did you get?
I got the purple. I think it's the Octoling, where he's like knelt down with the gun.
Was it one of the Splatoon 3 amiibos or was it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I found it at GameStop. It was the only one.
Yeah, did those restock recently?
I need to.
I think the purple, the Octoling did. I want the Inkling with the bow, and then I want Little Buddy. Like,
bro, I want Small Fry. That's what I want. I want the boy.
I really want. They announced the next wave of Smash amiibo.
Yeah.
Over our little break with Kazuya, Sephiroth, Pyra, and Mithra.
Yes,
and I want all of them.
I was about to say, speaking of amiibo, the Sephiroth, I'm looking at the Sephiroth one specifically. That comes out in 11 days.
It literally comes out like 2 days after this episode goes out.
Nice.
So I have Target gift cards, so I'll probably be making a run to Target.
I'm gonna make a run to GameStop.
So I am very excited for the Pyramithra ones. I hope that they add amiibo support with those to Xenoblade 3, because if you scan the Shulk amiibo for Xenoblade 3, you get the Minato as like a skin for the sword fighter class. So I hope they do that with the Pyramithra ones, where you can get the Aegis sword.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there is. Nice. There's amiibo stuff with Pyra and Mithra. It was just because everybody memed about it. Pyra and Mithra weren't even out.
Okay, huge.
Yeah.
Okay, important gaming thing to talk about that happened after the holidays. PlayStation 5s are apparently becoming more and more common to find in stores.
Nature is healing. PS5s are in stock.
But the thing is, I think you have to like place an order online to have one reserved for you.
Yeah,
that's honestly the best way to do it. Actually, no, that's not. Just go in store and get it, and if it's there, it's there. You know, do it like the good old days, where you gotta show up and wait outside.
I'm not gonna get a PS5 until like games are on it that I want to play.
I'm waiting for
God of War Ragnarok.
I'm waiting for the PS5.
I don't care for God of War.
Slim.
Oh, you don't care for God of War?
I don't. I never really have cared for God of War.
So, as I was saying before we cut out, there's this game that looks like an anime game, Tales of Arise.
I have Tales of Arise.
Dude, so many of my Twitter mutuals will not shut up about that game. And I've
just
not
heard
on
about
Switch. I don't think.
Okay.
No,
it's not.
Switch,
it's only
PlayStation and PC and Xbox.
Yeah.
One, not Xbox Series X.
Yeah. I have it for PS4 and I haven't played it. But I've also heard from my friends who are Tales fans, they have literally said that game is so mid. Like, compared to the other games, they're like, that game is kind of mid. And I'm like, all right.
Well, that's
I'm excited to get Final Fantasy 16, which don't be surprised.
Did you play? Did you play Final Fantasy? Sorry. Let me get this correct. Did you play the hit MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV with a free trial up to level 60 in the entirety of a Realm Reborn?
Unfortunately, no.
Aww.
I wasn't.
Aww.
The only Final Fantasy game I was interested in was Final Fantasy VII and the original on NES, which I later got for Game Boy.
Understandable.
But now I'm like huge on Final Fantasy.
Oh, Alex, are you going to get the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters when they come out? Because I just remember they announced that a couple weeks ago. Although they're only going to be like digital exclusives unless you buy like the super hardcore deluxe edition,
which is like
way more expensive.
$160, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
my friends.
And then you can get a physical version.
Yeah.
Dude, Xbox is just taking L's when it comes to Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is the new stuff is PlayStation exclusive.
The latest Final Fantasy game that has been released for Xbox is Crisis Core, I think.
Me, Gungag.
Dang, that's kind
everything
of
else though. Gosh, Final Fantasy 16. I think that's a PlayStation exclusive.
Yep,
I would expect so.
I can tell you that's a PlayStation exclusive. I know that.
I really need to play Crisis Core just because of the memes.
I want to play Crisis Core because it's Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, but I want to play it because of the memes.
I would play it if I had money and or time.
But dude, Pixel Remastered, that actually is a game worth getting because it has Final Fantasy 3, which is 6.
I get what he's saying.
Okay, so long story short, America did not get all the Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
They only got like 3 for the Nintendo consoles. And then when they moved to PlayStation, that's when it became regular to sell them in America. But it just jumped to 7. Like Final Fantasy 3 in America is actually Final Fantasy 6.
Okay.
And then we have Mystic Quest, which was exclusive to America because Square thought Americans were dumb.
Well,
which they are.
They're not wrong.
But Pixel Remastered, it's actually a good opportunity for a lot of people who didn't get all of the Final Fantasy games and people who want to experience them again, but unfortunately have a Super Nintendo with RCA cables. And as we all know, RCA cables are not a thing on TVs, a lot of TVs nowadays.
Nope. Not anymore.
Sorry, to sidetrack real fast. The mix that I'm listening to for this episode just hit me with some sick tonal whiplash. I'm listening to an Ocarina of Time mix, and it just went from a minigame theme to Ganon's theme.
Oh,
and
how
so,
lovely!
Like that's the thing. If you notice, like a few minutes ago, I just kind of looked over at my monitor because I was really confused. That was why, because it hit me with even more tonal whiplash.
How nice.
Going back to the topic, yeah, I've heard Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy IV are like really beloved games.
Final Fantasy VI is one of the most beloved Super Nintendo games of all time. Let alone one of the most beloved Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Isn't that that's the game that has like the 17-minute boss theme, right?
Final Fantasy VI?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. That is the game Dancing Mad is from, I'm pretty sure.
Meanwhile, the original Final Fantasy, only one of the characters is actually still common to find nowadays, and that one is Vivi, who is the Black Mage. Everyone else is just forgotten about.
Yeah. By the way, yes, it is Final Fantasy VI. Anyway.
So back to the main topic of the episode. Nintendo in 2023. This is potentially a big year for our favorite little gaming company.
Don't say little.
Confirmed.
They've been huge in Japan for like, gosh, how many years? Over 100.
We've got a lot of good things coming from my favorite indie developer, Nintendo company.
Indie developer.
My favorite indie studio, the Zelda team, pumping out a little indie known as The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Bro,
and I can't wait to see.
Where does that fall in the Undertale storyline?
Can't wait to see the Super
Undertale.
Mario Bros. Movie from a little indie film studio known as Illumination. It's going to be great. I think this is really going to be Nintendo's year to break in with the big boys like PlayStation and Xbox.
Nintendo's been huge for like over 100 years.
You know that was sarcasm, right? Like
I know,
I'm playing it up for the bit. I'm not.
I just wanted to find an excuse to.
Nintendo
say that
is. I think this is accurate. I may be wrong. I think Nintendo is the richest game company right now. Like they have the most money in the bank. They are debt free, and have like just a crap ton of money. The Switch has been incredibly good.
And they have one person to thank for that.
Me.
Yes, you. Not Shigeru Miyamoto, who literally saved them from bankruptcy.
You know, my constant shilling for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom that has single-handedly saved Nintendo from bankruptcy on multiple accounts.
Nick, I'm gonna be real. That is the worst bit we've ever done.
No, I think that was great.
It was the
I'm
best.
gonna be real.
What you talking about?
I think that's the worst bit we've ever done.
It's time to be real?
But
Moving
now,
on.
the bigger question.
What's
the next Pokemon game Nintendo's going to release?
What are we? Well, we are getting a Pokemon game this year. Come on, let's all be honest.
Are we finally going to get a Call of Duty on Nintendo?
No.
Not this generation.
What do you mean? Finally?
Yeah, Call of Duty was on the Wii.
It was on the Wii,
and the Wii
Wii U, 3DS, 3DS.
But are we going to get like a series Call of Duty that looks like the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC version?
Possibly.
No. Did I freeze?
And Colin froze for me.
Colin froze again. Dang. What a night for technical difficulties. You know what I mean?
Camera didn't die.
Could be worse.
What do you mean camera died? You were at full battery.
Camera dies while it's still displaying an image.
It's okay. I'll
honestly,
screenshot that image and put that on there.
No, I guess I'm turning into a goat again.
Oh. Oh, well. It was nice knowing you, Colin.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
But like you were saying, Nick, this being a good year for Nintendo, I think that's really truthful because we're getting more retro games that are expensive today, more common on the Switch, and I'm not just talking about Nintendo Online. I'm talking about like actually being able to fully purchase the game.
Right.
Bro,
like they're making it a lot more accessible.
I can't wait for
you
COD
said,
party chat.
Like you said,
Switch
we talked about the Final Fantasy Pixel remaster.
Yeah.
And there's also the Trials of Mana.
I think what's interesting is we don't really know much about 2023 aside from Fire Emblem next week, I think, from when this episode goes out.
Yeah.
And then Kirby, the Bayonetta prequel, Zelda, Pikmin 4. And that's about
Pikmin
it.
4.
I forgot about that game, I'll be honest.
And I think
oh gosh, why am I so dark?
If/when we get a new direct, jeez, I can speak English, I swear. If/when we get our February direct, I think that will be very telling of what else is coming this year, because there's a rumor floating around that Tears of the Kingdom is the last big game for Switch. And right now, a lot of the development teams are moving to whatever their next, like whatever the Switch successor is. And once Tears of the Kingdom is out the door, we're just going to get a bunch of ports and that kind of thing to kind of bridge the gap between the two. And then they'll obviously hit the ground running with the next system. And I don't think that's too far out of the realm of possibility, considering we're going on year 7 of the Switch in March.
Like,
so
if or when that happens, like if that does happen or when it happens, I think that wouldn't be a bad move because the Switch is still selling a lot today.
Right.
And despite not having a virtual console on Switch, which I was hoping for, all these ports are actually pretty good because it gives us more hope that we're able to play retro games that are expensive today and more difficult to play because obviously it requires so many systems just to play a lot of those ports.
Exactly. And I think, one, it's a really good business move for Nintendo to get the next system out there while the Switch is still selling well, and not waiting for, Switch sales to fall off a cliff and then be like, okay, well, now here's the next thing, we're starting over. Like, this year or next year would be the best time for them to put out a new console, because Nintendo's still relevant. They're still, like, here, and they're still putting out a lot of games and stuff, and having a seamless transition would be best. And they've made it abundantly clear in the last couple investor meetings that they want the Switch Online that we have now to carry over to the next system. So they're not going to just reset and then move on to the next system. Like, your account is going to carry over. All your purchases are going to carry over, which that is honestly a banger. They've never really done that before. Like, you could argue they did that with the Wii to the Wii U, but not really, because you still had to rebuy all your virtual console games. So
and what's even more disappointing, because I bought quite a few games on the virtual console on my Wii U, including Zelda 2, Mega Man, and when I was excited to see a virtual console on Switch, but when I found out that we're not getting one, it's been like how many months or how many years?
6 years.
We still have not gotten a virtual console. And if this rumor is true that Tears of the Kingdom is the last big Nintendo Switch game, like, there's no hope for a virtual console anymore.
What I think would be interesting is, if that's the last big game, what do they put out for the rest of the year? Like, what is their big November holiday game? What is their, August through November games? Because when you look back at 2022, they had, like, Splatoon and Xenoblade and Bayonetta and all these big games. But if Zelda's your last big game, where do you go from there? Because
Excitebike.
I mean, hey, there's rumors of an F-Zero remaster / remake coming to Switch, which would honestly be kind of sick.
Yo, that'd be cool if that ever happened.
If Nintendo acknowledged F-Zero outside of Smash Bros, that'd be great.
Because, like, the last big F-Zero game was, like, what, GameCube?
Yep.
I think so.
I'd like a new Star Fox.
Oh, I would love a new Star Fox, honestly, or even just Star Fox Zero getting ported. I'd take that too.
Now, you know what Nintendo probably would do, though? Remaster Superman 64.
No, that was outsourced.
I think.
Imagine if they did, though.
Another thing to point out is it seems like a lot of Nintendo's plans this year revolve around DLC. Like, we got the Mario Kart DLC.
Lame.
We got the Xenoblade DLC. We got the Splatoon DLC. There's gonna be inevitable Zelda DLC. Like, it seems like it just kind of further confirms the theory that they are saving a bunch of games for their next, like, to push with the next console, because you don't want to drop them all in this system and then next year be like, oh, by the way, here's your Switch 2, and all these games are going to be exclusive. And it's like, okay, well, I just bought this big game, Super Mario Odyssey 2 for this Switch, and now I'm already, like, having to move on to the next one. Like, that doesn't seem fair to me.
You know what would be more painful? The Switch 2 not being backwards compatible with the first Switch.
If it's not backwards compatible, I'm sorry, that's Nintendo's biggest fumble ever. Because the people who have bought, like, 100, like, not even me, who has a lot of physical games. Take someone like Beat 'em Ups, who has, like, hundreds upon hundreds of physical Switch games. Not being backwards compatible is a huge loss. And I hope, like, that was one of the coolest features of the 3DS, was that you could play DS games. And obviously they didn't look the same as the 3DS games. They were, had a different aspect ratio, because the DS had a different aspect ratio, but it was still really fun to be able to play Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart 7 on the same console, or, like, the same little system.
And it's not like Nintendo hasn't had success making a console that is backwards compatible with previous generations. Take a look at the Game Boy. The SP is literally able to play every single other Game Boy game ever made, including Game Boy Color, original Game Boy, and Game Boy Advance. Those three different consoles on one device playable, that was an amazing thing that people loved. So why wouldn't they do that?
Exactly. It's something that they should continue in the future, and I just hope they don't screw it up. But with that being said, I kind of have to rethink and wonder if there is a new console coming next year, because I know I made the video about do we need a Switch Pro, and we kind of talked about it last episode, and like we've kind of talked about it sporadically, but I've said Switch Pro 2023, and I think now, based on this information, I don't think there is a Switch Pro anymore. Well, there was actually a report that came out over the break that said Switch Pro is canceled in favor of next-gen hardware, which doesn't surprise me given we're almost 7 years in to the Switch. Like, we've long passed the point for a mid-gen refresh, so you might as well just move on to the next thing.
Let's see here. It's 2023. It's not. The Switch is actually not even 6 years old yet.
Well, yeah. In March, the Switch will be 6 years old, and we're going into year 7.
But that's honestly not kind of surprising, because Nintendo has had some successful consoles that has lasted like years. Like the original Game Boy lasted, oh gosh, I think 14 years.
But the Game Boy had a bunch of different variations that kept it going.
No, I'm talking about the
Game Boy.
I'm not talking about all the different variations. I'm talking about the original Game Boy. Just that one. That thing lasted from 1989 to 2003.
Really?
I believe so.
Well, you have to factor in like the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Pocket and the Game Boy SP. Like that's why it went so long. It's all considered the Game Boy generation, but that's why it went so long. At least to my understanding, is because they kept putting out those different
the original
variations.
Original Game Boy 1989 through 2003.
Really? Wow. I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, because it was, as time went on, it became more affordable compared to the other Game Boys. But honestly, that still kind of surprised me, because the Game Boy Color even had some great exclusives, like the Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, despite them being short, like Colyn's mentioned before.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, please tell me he's not disconnected.
Oh no, I'm here.
Okay.
I just haven't been talking.
Understandable. So yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting year for Nintendo. And, as much as I know, there could be a February Direct next month, and they are just like, you know what, here's the Metroid Prime remake, and Super Mario Odyssey 2, and
I'd be so
all this
happy.
stuff. Like, here's a look at Metroid Prime 4. It does still exist.
I'd be so happy.
There are a lot of people who'd be really happy if there was anything Metroid Prime 4. Metroid fans are in the same boat as the Zelda fans were. By the way,
Okay.
I'm sick of fighting people on this point. They're like, we don't need any more information for Tears of the Kingdom. I just want to play it and don't go in spoiled. Okay, cool. Then don't watch any of the trailers. Don't watch any of the directs. You can choose not to watch those things.
I was like that myself, but I wasn't outspoken about it. Like they shouldn't release trailers because spoilers. Like no, I didn't want spoilers, so I didn't watch them.
Right, like if you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch them. This concept has persisted with movies. Like if you didn't want to be spoiled on Endgame or know anything about it, don't watch any of the trailers.
You want to juggle eggs, but you don't want to break any of them? Don't juggle them.
Don't juggle the eggs. It's not that hard. So yeah,
But,
I want more Tears of the Kingdom news ASAP. It's 2023. The game comes out in 4 months.
For like the next Pokemon game, I kind of want to keep my fingers crossed that they're going to do another Johto region remake.
I think a remake would be very beneficial for them right now, considering how Scarlet and Violet went. Although Scarlet and Violet, they put those out and they've already sold like 10 million copies. So are they going to fix it? No, because the sales don't tell them to fix it.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Johto is like one of the least popular regions in the franchise.
I don't know. I'm not a Pokemon guy.
That was more directed towards Colyn, if he agrees or not.
And then Colyn disappeared. Oh well.
Oh well. But in all truthfulness, I think I would like to see a Johto remake, despite Johto having the Game Boy and the DS. But I think I would. But we already got like we got a Sinnoh remake, we got a Hoenn remake, we got Gen 1, we got a ton of Gen 1 remakes. I don't know. Only time will tell.
I think a new Pokemon game is a safe bet for this year.
I mean, probably. I could see us getting Unova as a remake.
I love Gen what is it, Gen 5?
Gen 5. But
I don't know why, but I think Gen 5 is hated too much.
No. It's not.
It's based on what I've seen, because I've seen like so many tweets on people just hating Gen 5, saying I don't like anyone's Pokemon opinion if they like Gen 5. Dude, Gen 5 was awesome.
It really isn't overhated. I would say Gen 7 is the most overhated.
Was that Sun and Moon?
Sun and Moon, yeah.
I kind of didn't like that. I'm not saying it was bad.
I was fine with it. It was fun.
My main problem with it though is that I had an original 3DS XL, so when it was first released, and when the double battles came up for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, well, I think I had Ultra Sun, and when the double battle came up, I had very serious slowdown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's because I needed a new 3DS or a new 2DS, but my game suffered serious slowdowns, and God, I remember one battle specifically because the enemy kept healing their Arcanine, and I couldn't finish it off in one hit.
Dang. Well, Colyn, before I shift into our second topic for today, Colyn, do you have any predictions, hopes, wants, aspirations for Nintendo this year?
I hope the new Fire Emblem is good.
That's fair.
Especially with all of the, controversy and stuff like that, because a lot of people are just really mad about that game for really no reason. I think it's allowing for a lot of the older games to get recognition, and I don't think people are seeing that. And to be honest, I'm the most excited for this game that I was for probably since Awakening, to be completely real.
I think that's fair.
But I really like. I think it comes without saying that Pikmin 4 is going to be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really about it. Honestly, it's like I hope we get. Obviously, I say this every year. Hope we get new news on Metroid Prime 4. But,
that would be nice. That would be great, actually.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to happen. So
I think that's fair. Alex, what about you?
Well, I'm looking on GameStop right now, and God, Xenoblade is already making like a comeback, because I found a brand new copy of the original Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition on Switch, like brand new at GameStop, and it's on sale. Nope, never mind.
For how much?
Never mind. It freaking scamming. It said like $45. Nope, it's $50.
Dang. Hey, it's still $10 off though.
No, it's the full original price, $60.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
But hey, it's a brand new copy, and these are difficult to find.
The first and second one are. The third one not so much, because it just came out last year. So I'm glad I have all three of them now. That's great, because Xenoblade has definitely jumped up there in terms of like my favorite franchises. So, anything else? Hopes, wants, aspirations for this year?
Honestly, this year, I mean, Final Fantasy is looking good so far. Yep. And I kind of just want to say improve on Pokemon. That's kind of all I have to say.
That's fair.
Like right now, I have pretty good I'm very optimistic for Nintendo so far this year because Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, and the Amiibo, and all the great games coming out.
Yeah.
I think it's good so far. So good, looking good.
Yeah, I think that's kind of my thoughts. Is like, it looks good so far. I don't think Nintendo has had a bad year since the Switch kicked off. Like, yeah, they've had some okay years, especially 2020 because of COVID. But even in 2020, they put out more games than any other platform did. At least more exclusives.
Just a reminder.
So,
10 years ago, this year was the year of Luigi.
yes, we
Their
can't forget
worst
the year of Luigi.
year ever.
So maybe this is history repeating itself, and this will be the worst year of Nintendo. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm really excited for the Zelda stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if I financially tapped out of Nintendo once everything Zelda came out. I don't even know what Nintendo could put out in the second half of the year that would make me be like, yeah, I need that game. Unless it's something Zelda related.
And now my wallet hates me.
Did you buy Xenoblade?
Yes, because of how hard it was to find this game originally.
That's fair.
I don't want to lose. I want to take the chance now. I don't want to lose the opportunity.
Yeah, that's understandable. So, totally forgot. We should be getting both the final 2 waves of the Xenoblade DLC this year.
Let's
I'm
go!
Very much looking forward to that. The second DLC hero and then the story DLC, so we can finally end the debate of is it an epilogue? Is it a prologue?
It's gonna be a prologue.
Is it none of the above? We don't know.
If it's none of the
maybe...
above, I will be shocked and I will be angry.
Me too. Maybe
it's just a completely different thing.
I'll stream it when it comes out. I'll probably stream the hero because I did last time. But yeah, I will say, if you're still listening 45 minutes or so into this episode, I do want to go over some stuff for the channel that we're going to do, but I'll do that last. That'll be our closing topic for tonight. So yeah. Now, with all of our predictions and stuff out of the way, let's get a little leaky. Let's get a little rumory and go down the rumor
That
mill.
first line you said just sounded awful.
Don't.
No, I was going to say, don't ever say, let's get a little leaky ever again, please.
Why'd you say it? Don't draw attention to it.
No, I'm going to draw attention to it. It was
Let's
so
move on.
bad. Like, it was bad.
That kind of stuff is awful to say.
Let's move on.
Hey, let's look at some leaks.
All right, yeah, let's
Nintendo
look at
might
some
have done. And not what Nick
leaks.
said.
I don't know. Do you think they're Nintendo leaks? I don't think Nintendo leaks anything intentionally.
I mean,
No.
no.
When it comes to quote unquote leaks, a lot of times it's just from people making rumors, and a lot of times they're just false.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, I will link the images in the description, or like the sources from Reddit and stuff. So that way the audience knows what we're talking about. But by this point, I'm sure you've seen the quote-unquote Tears of the Kingdom OLED that leaked, which...
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, it is still up in the air on whether or not it is official or not.
One more thing.
No, yes.
I hope all those who own a Nintendo Wii still are okay after the Nintendo Wii self-destruct.
The self-destructing Nintendo Wiis.
Yeah.
The amount of people who thought that was real.
Mine didn't.
Guys. So yeah, the Tears of the Kingdom OLED. I'm assuming you both have seen it.
Yes.
Or are looking at it right now. So one of the prevailing arguments as to why this is fake is, why would this be done? The game comes out in May. Why would this be circulating already? And I say, there's this thing called building an inventory that they probably want to do, so that when people go to buy them, they have units to give you. But also, this console would probably be launching at the end of April, not in May, because the other 2 special edition consoles from 2022 launched 2 weeks before the game actually came out. So It wouldn't surprise me if they dropped the Tears of the Kingdom OLED. Design-wise, how are you guys feeling? I think,
It's a
I mean, if
little
I can
eh.
speak honestly,
It
yeah,
looks
it's
a
kind
little
of
too plain.
Like, there's just so much white. Like, I thought they would lean more into, like, that darker, like, bluish green.
I don't understand
color.
why they didn't follow suit like with the, Master Sword and Hylian Shield
Right.
Joy-Cons.
And, like, but also, like, the left Joy-Con, why is the left Joy-Con the corrupted one when Link's right arm is the corrupted one?
Yeah.
Like, it would make so much more sense to switch those two, which is why a lot of people think it's fake. It's just a very convincing fake, which, honestly, I kind of hope it's fake so that we get a different one. But if this is the final one, I would still buy it either way. Like, it's not so bad that I wouldn't buy it, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I think the Joy-Con look cool. I just see what you're saying. It is kind of bland and meh, and like the Skyward Sword Joy-Cons look so much better.
It's shiny
than
though.
these. I don't like that though. Like, I think they should have leaned more into the gold. I think the dock looks bad. I'm just gonna say it. I think the dock looks
here's
bad.
the thing.
Imagine
If
it being
it's-
so
if it's-
shiny when you're playing out in the sun. The sun just glares right into your eyes.
I mean, what I was gonna say was, if it's so shiny like that, the finish is gonna get destroyed over time.
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
It's
That's
not
why
gonna
the
look
Joy-Con
good.
have to have matte finish.
Like,
otherwise it's not
yeah.
gonna work.
Yeah.
I don't like the way, and maybe this is just the picture, but I don't like the way, like, the dock, like, you can see that Ouroboros dragon symbol from the logo, but it's white on white.
Like, I think the gold design. I think when Nintendo released a gold Zelda controller, I think it worked better on the Wii with Skyward Sword.
Well,
than
that was
the-
white on gold. That wasn't white on white. Like, this dock is white Ouroboros logo on white. So you can't even see half of it. And maybe it would look different in person and, like, actually physically having the dock.
But like,
But I just don't think it looks great.
in the picture it kind of just looks plain, just like
Yeah.
some.
It's a very plain looking Switch.
Yeah.
And I hope they do better. But
I just want to know
yeah.
how does one even get their hands on the stuff like this unless they really know, unless they're very artistic.
Well, it seems that this was like from a Chinese retailer. Like, somebody slipped this box off of the production line and then gave it to someone else.
Or their uncle works at
which
Nintendo.
is how it usually works. Is stuff gets slipped off the production line and we go from there. I do think the little design on the back of the Switch looks cool, like these circles, but I don't know what the significance of these circles are yet. Like, it doesn't really make sense, and that could be because we don't know jack squat about the game, but also these circles are really prominently featured for, like, to be on a Switch. They have to have some significance. If you look at the Splatoon one, like, they have all the different, like, Splat logos and the squids and all that stuff on the back, and that makes sense because those are a part of Splatoon. So I don't know what these circles are, but I mean, I guess it is what it is. And we'll know soon enough if it's legit or not. So I don't know. We'll see. I would still buy it, but I also don't love it. So I don't know.
Honestly, I kind of would want to buy it, but if this is like the last major game for Switch, then I don't really feel like dropping. I don't really feel like selling my Switch and dropping money just for the same thing.
That is totally a valid point, actually. Like, why drop this much money. Oh yeah, those are really shiny Joy-Cons. Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, why drop $350 on, or $360 actually? The special editions are $10 more, I think. Why drop that kind of money on a special edition console when we know new hardware is coming? I would bet within the next year.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's going to be around for another 6 years.
Exactly. And I was worried about that when I initially bought my OLED is, I don't want to buy this OLED and then next year have a Switch Pro come out. And now, well, I just dropped $350 6 months ago. And now you want another $350 from me? Like, no, that's not happening. So
I wanted to get I got my OLED later than you did. And one thing that didn't go through my mind was Switch 2 or Switch Pro.
Now, if there was someone like Melina who doesn't have an OLED, I would tell her to wait and buy this one if she's going to get an OLED.
Yeah.
And not buy one now. Just wait for the Zelda one because that would be cooler.
But now, like, if this is the last major game, then a new console is going to come out, like, in probably a year or two. Right. So just save up for that.
But it's also not unlike Nintendo to put out a new console in October or November and drop it out for Christmas. And because this is just a special edition. Like, they dropped that Mario edition of the base Switch and then dropped the OLED 6 months later. Like, they're not above putting out a fancy version and then putting out a new console later down the line, because they know that we know there are leaks and that there are people who are waiting, or you'll shill out the money anyway. So
for my Switch OLED, I only had to pay $40 for this because I had an original Switch and a Switch Lite. Well, the Switch Lite I sold to my brother and then he gave it back to me because he didn't play it.
Yeah.
So I got like $300 for, or 300 some for it, and because at the time GameStop was putting about an advertisement, sell your Switch and we'll give you money towards, and if you're going to use that money towards the Switch OLED, and we'll give you extra. The most generous offer for a console GameStop.
That was a really good deal
and
from GameStop.
It was actually a funny story because it was around Christmas last year, and when I was going to sell my Switches, I was missing a few things. I was missing the straps for the Joy-Cons.
Oh.
And so I had to go back home and get those and put them back in the box. There was not a Switch OLED on the shelf. When I got back to the store that same day, just an hour later, the store clerk was like, "Hey, we just got a Switch. We got a Switch OLED for you."
We just got a Switch OLED.
I'm like, "Sweet." Yeah, and he was like, "Yeah, we had to send a lot of people back because they didn't actually have everything required."
That's fair.
I'm like, "Huh, lucky me." Despite me, I guess it was good that I was sent back in the first place and came back.
Yeah. So yeah, I think to wrap up about the OLED model, I think it could be real. It could be fake. I'm gonna say it's
either
fake. Way it'll be fine. And honestly, we'll know within a couple months if it's real or fake.
I'm not gonna get my hopes up, and so I'm just gonna say it's not real.
I'm gonna say it's fake, because the box looks so different from the other
just an
OLED boxes.
Just an average Photoshop job. It looks like.
Like, yeah, it looks like somebody is faking this, and honestly, it's not the first time somebody has been like, you know what, let's totally fake a Switch, because this lit the internet on fire last week.
Dude, that was the main thing, like, all over Twitter.
Yeah.
So I just kept thinking to myself, how are people this dumb to actually believe that this is real?
I think if it's real, great. If not,
like,
that
Nintendo,
means we could be getting a completely different design.
When it comes to games, Nintendo will do some poor mistakes. but Nintendo's not that clumsy when it comes to design of a new console.
I mean,
Yeah.
here's the worst case scenario. That's fake, and then the actual design we get is worse.
I find that hard to believe.
stop it. Last time you said worst
which
case
is entirely
scenario.
a possibility because
Listen.
they've released some pretty bad designs in the past.
Listen,
I'm not down
6
that.
stop
years.
that. Last time you said worst case scenario, it was Tears of the Kingdom 2023, and that's what happened. So you're done. Stop.
Okay.
I would say you're not wrong, but this design for the OLED, it looks kind of too poor for Nintendo's taste.
I think the dock is what gives it
disagree.
away. I feel
Mostly
like
the dock,
Nintendo
yeah.
would not do white on white. It looks bad. It looks bad. So that's the jury on that. Now, our next leak comes from today, actually, or like yesterday, and it is online capability for Tears of the Kingdom and what that means. And it's quote unquote. Now this is a 4chan leak, so I just want everyone to take this with a grain of salt because it is probably not true.
Let's go 4chan.
But I think it could be a fun
The hackers,
talking point,
known as 4chan.
regardless. Now,
So,
this infographic came up, and it'll be linked in the description if you want to go look at the original 4chan thread, assuming it's still there. So, this person claims that they work in a GameStop in Italy, and that they
Off to a
have
great
been
start.
getting infographics
Very
for Tears
reliable.
of the Kingdom. Now, this infographic looks like something I could have made on Canva, which is red flag number 1. If I could have done a better job, because there's the circles again. And I'm like, where are you getting the circles from? We haven't seen the circles in anything. So either both of these leaks are legit and the circles mean something, or someone happened to coincidentally line up the circles together. I don't know. But it's all in Italian, and I threw it through Google Translate. And essentially, what it says is interact with other players by leaving them resources, Tears of the Realm, and written messages. Explore the regenerating farmhouses with the help of a friend in online co-op, and share the loot via the members' exclusive shared exploration mode. Keep your adventure data safe with the Save Data Cloud. Add-on pack for Nintendo Switch Online. Plus, add-on pack members have access to exclusive Sky Chest, Hyrule Lockbox, and more.
So basically, what that translates to is they're picking up what the Soulsborne games do,
Pretty much.
where
Okay, so
you can
the
have
only-
co-op. I was gonna say you can have co-op in dungeons and stuff like that. You can have, or like boss fights, and then you can have messages that you send that you just leave down for other people and or resources.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
a bad take, but it's the best one I could think of. If Tears of the Kingdom does have online capabilities, I think the only thing that the online capabilities for a Zelda game would have is to share like your results for, let's say, a challenge. Because let's say Breath of the Wild had that kind of online capabilities. You could share like how fast did you complete the sword challenge. Trials of the Sword, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best that I could think of, because, like, what, is Zelda going to become an MMO? Is Tears of the Kingdom going to be like an MMO RPG?
No. Hot take, I don't think Zelda should have any online co-op whatsoever. I've never seen Zelda as the type of game where you can pop in and, like, play with other people. It's always been a single-player game. Except for, of course, like, Triforce Heroes and Four Swords. Those are different. But, like,
Zelda ain't Sword
3D
Art Online.
Right. The main 3D Zelda games, I don't think, should ever move to any kind of online co-op. Now, if you want to do something like they did in Wind Waker, where you can send, like, the Miiverse messages and stuff, that's fine. Sending messages is an optional thing that you don't have to do, and it's not really a huge part of the game. I think that's fine. But if they're talking about, like, trading resources and stuff, I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't
think-
know how that would... How many people would actually be willing to trade their resources? Because we're talking things that also include... When it comes to, like, regular resources for, like, food, normally in any Zelda game, you can find that anywhere.
Right.
But when it comes to, like, things things to upgrade your gear, like with the dragons to upgrade your tunic of the wind or your wind set. How many people would actually go through the effort to actually share those? Because when those things are done, people just stop farming for those.
Right.
And no way I'm trading my stuff. I spent hours getting this stuff.
Exactly. So, I don't know. I think it's weird. It's well, I don't want to say it's beyond Nintendo, but it's weird to put this kind of stuff behind a Nintendo Switch expansion pass type thing, which I know they've been doing that for DLC, but they've never put like in-game features that could potentially impact gameplay behind a paid wall. Like, Nintendo games are very good about, especially the bigger, like, single-player games are very good about, you don't have to pay anything extra other than the $60 to enjoy the game. You don't have to have the $20 Switch Online. You don't have to have, the $30 DLC. Like, those things are not required, but having something like this where online play, and honestly, maybe it's not required. Maybe it's like, if you want to participate in this, you can get Switch Online and do it, but it doesn't affect your gameplay. But what it sounds like, based on first translation, which obviously the translation could be wrong too, is, you got to pay for the add-on pack to get this stuff. So I don't know. I kind of hope this one is fake. I really do.
It honestly,
it most likely is.
It honestly might be, if it is real, it might be like when you boot up the game, it's like, do you want to play online or do you want to play offline?
Like, Persona does that. But the
Elden
frustrating
Ring,
part
I'm
about
pretty
that
sure,
is
does
like,
that too.
when I do it in Persona, it will randomly disconnect me from the internet. Even though my Switch still has internet, like, it'll just randomly pop up, oh, no longer connected to online, and then it, like, you move on with your day. So I don't know. I hope that one's fake.
And
it probably is. But I mean, it sending out promotional material to GameStop, it seems too early to be doing that. Especially when we're probably another month away from a Direct, which is where we'd get any more Zelda news. So it seems weird to be sending them out this early. The OLED leaking out, that's a little more believable because those have honestly been in production for a while. Because they got to have inventory so that when people want to buy them, they have something to sell. So, yeah, Zelda leaks, they're ramping up, which doesn't surprise me because we are 4 months away from the game. So, who's to say, though? Do you guys have anything else you want to say about that, or are we good to start wrapping up?
I think we're going to start wrapping up.
All I have to say is I believe it's fake. I don't think anything that a GameStop employee says on the internet is credible at all.
I don't believe anything I hear on the internet.
Everything on the internet is fake, actually.
Remember,
I wish it was fake when I first heard about Final Fantasy VII Remake not being like a JRPG.
That's fair.
Once again, reminder
it was a great game.
When an actual news station said, and I quote, "The hacker group known as 4chan."
The hacker group known as 4chan have taken over the internet. They're threatening Reddit. If you don't stop going on Reddit, we're gonna destroy Japan.
Good luck with that. Their technology is far beyond us.
So yeah, fun conversation either way, regardless of whether or not they're true or false. Now, before we head out, I do want to say a couple housekeeping things for the podcast. First of all, by the time this episode goes out, we should be close to or surpassed 400 subscribers, which, thank you guys. The growth has been incredible, and you guys seem to be loving what we're doing, so we're going to keep doing that. I do want to note we are tweaking the subscriber goals, because after playing Doki Doki Literature Club, I have now remembered that I don't want to play FNAF at all, ever.
Nick's a bitch!
We're... hey,
He's
you can put it that way, and I'm okay with that. But what we are going to be doing for 500 subs instead, because it's closer, Alex is going to be doing a Pokemon Nuzlocke run live on the channel. That's going to be our 500 sub goal.
And I'm gonna leave the vote to the audience on two things. One, should it be a regular Nuzlocke or should it be a hardcore Nuzlocke? And second, do you want to see me play Fire Red or Emerald?
So
I think it should be
as we get
randomized.
closer,
Okay, so put it on the wheel. I'll leave the Nuzlocke and hardcore Nuzlocke one to the fans.
we can you can do a wheel on stream and decide on stream, and then I'll put up the hardcore or normal poll as we get closer. But yeah, that is our 500, and then our 1,000 subscriber goal. As of right now, what I have planned is either Mario Kart or Smash Bros tournament.
Mario
with
Kart's gonna win.
Potential for a prize of some monetary value. So, just saying. That is what I have planned right now. That could change, but that is the plan. I am also going to plan, and I think it should go for next weekend, which would be the weekend after this episode comes out. I want to do like a test Mario Kart night with you guys, with the fans. So be sure to look out for that. Lots of other stuff coming. We're going to keep posting on the channel and just keep growing because we're having fun. And obviously Zelda's right around the corner. So I should be streaming some more games. There should be highlights coming from like the Doki Doki streams and some of the other streams. So we will see what happens there. But other than that, I think that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. If you have listened all the way to the end, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell so you can be notified of all the cool stuff we have coming up, especially live streams, because we love interacting with you guys live. And, you know, we love the engagement. And honestly, that was what made the Doki Doki stream so fun, was being able to interact with you guys live. So there's that. You can follow us on Instagram at the Joystick Drift Pod. I think it's Joystick Drift Pod. I think it's been a hot minute since I've done this. So yeah, with that being said, thank you everybody for watching. We will see you next week for another episode, which I haven't picked out the topic yet. And yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.